All 5 Great Lake water levels are well above average. According to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Lake Erie is the highest at 52 inches above its average level. As NBC 24 meteorologist Chris Arbino explains, that could lead to serious flooding concerns this spring.
After a record-setting summer, the water levels here on Lake Erie remain quite high. And that has researchers concerned as we move into the spring season, as the high water levels look to create all sorts of problems for the Western Basin.
It's a problem that's been building since 2014. Precipitation was near average for 2014 to 2016, but the 3 years after have seen much higher than average rainfall totals, shown by the green shaded area. And it's not only here in Toledo, much of the Great Lakes Basin has experienced similar accumulations.
Due to a rise basically in basin-wide average annual precipitation, the levels have started to go up. And we're currently sitting at Lake Erie, it's sitting at about 2.5 feet higher than the long-term average.
As most know, a common problem in the spring are the strong low-pressure systems that run just south of northern Ohio. This creates strong easterly winds, and inland flooding becomes a major issue. For example, this video shot on April 11th of last year shows the crashing waves near Luna Pier. The problem could be amplified this spring with the higher water levels.
And historically, if you look at the previous high water level periods, for example, in the early 50s, in the early 70s, and the records at 85 and 86, you know, there were a lot of damages, but during those time periods, single storms, fall or spring, were really the quite dramatic impact.
What does it take to return the lake back to normal? Anywhere from 1 to 2 years of average rainfall. But so far this month, the rain gauge is already 2 inches above average, further exacerbating the problems.
In the western basin of Lake Erie, because of the shoreline orientation, the shallow depth, we tend to see more inland flooding along the shoreline than we do erosion.
It's a problem that happens on a timescale of about 10 to 14 years. Prior to 2014, water levels actually remained well below average for about 13 years. Dr. Lawrence says the key to staying ahead of the problem is planning for the next rise in the waters now.
Water levels will come down, but they're going to come back up again. So how can we better prepare ourselves from this experience in the future to make sure, can we reduce our exposure?
Reporting in Toledo.
That was Chris Arbino reporting. The Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory estimates Lake Erie is covered by less than 5% of ice. In an average year, the lake is almost 51% covered by January 28th.